What up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Cafecito and Kane show. Here we got Rudy Rodriguez Chomat from the Hurricanes Unfiltered podcast. You probably saw the dual stream from Monday. I was on his show. Had a great time. Talked for like a good hour about not just the upcoming game, just Hurricanes football in general and old memories and stuff like that. But yeah, thought I'd have him on for round two. Because why not? It's FSU week. Rudy, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. I appreciate it. I'm trying to figure out how to dual stream this thing. It's not giving me that button we're talking about.
Huh.
So I don't
it's
see
not,
it.
Whenever someone has me on, the button is on the upper right. It doesn't pop up for you?
Nothing there.
Huh.
All's good. Can't complain. I'm just getting very, very excited. I'm very excited. I'm stoked. I'm yoked. I'm ready to roll. I'm starting to get that feeling of those goosebumps and I'm not even playing the game. But I'm ready to roll, man.
Yeah,
I'm ready to roll.
Rob is saying, "Are you still calm?" Because I'm all over the place. Believe it or not, yeah, I'm relatively calm about this one. What about you? How you feeling?
Me, I'm good. This game is simple to me. It's not something that I'm worried about. Miami, if Miami plays the way Miami can play, Miami should win. And it shouldn't be, I get tired of the old rivalry game stuff. Miami plays the way Miami can play. Miami wins this game by 2 to 3 touchdowns. 14, 17, 21 points. If Miami messes around and doesn't do certain things, then yes, they can create a game. And we can go back to games back in the day when we were big favorites and 28-27 back in 2002, and stuff like that. You create games that didn't need to be a game. But yeah, I can't say that I'm overly concerned or worried. I'm just excited because I want to see Miami beat the brakes off these dudes and put them in the dirt.
Of course.
Yeah.
And that 2002 game, you're talking about wide left. That
yes.
At the very least, I mean, I was there. I'm sure you were there too.
Yes.
At the very least, that FSU team was still coming off like an amazing run. They still had Bowden, pretty much in his prime as a coach. And they had a lot of NFL guys in that roster.
Absolutely.
It's not the same. To me, I see with the situation now, it's not the same. Have they improved? Yeah. No, they're a much better team than last year. But like, let me ask you this just for perspective and for the fans. It's like we went into the season and I think a lot of people would have been maybe not ecstatic, but they would have been okay with maybe splitting the Florida and Notre Dame game. Like, hey, if we can get out of that 3-1, we're in pretty good shape, I think is what most people would have thought.
Yeah.
What if I were to tell you, hey, going into this 4-game stretch, we're not going to have Jordan Lyle. We're not going to have JoJo Trader. And Elijah Lofton's basically going to be ineffective. If I told you that heading into the season, what would you have thought?
I mean, I thought they would be undefeated coming into Florida State, personally. I thought they beat Notre Dame. I thought they beat Florida. But, yeah, if you told me that we didn't have those players, especially JoJo Trader specifically, because I expected that guy to be a playmaker for this team. And with him not having played pretty much at all, the fact that they've done so well, it's obviously very impressive. It's a testament to the other guys, C.J. Daniels, Malachi Toney, Joshua Moore, Keelan Marion. They've all stepped up big time. They've all performed. And obviously the running back position, Mark Fletcher and Marty Brown. I mean, God, you knew who Mark Fletcher was. You had no idea who Marty Brown was. Like, this is a guy that was at North Dakota State. Yeah, they're championship level football. It's still Division I AA. I still call it that. I'll always call it that. Yeah. And the guy has been a godsend. The way he runs, his attitude, his aggression, his want to, like those two guys specifically that I think embody what the attitude that you need are Marty Brown and Mo Toure. Those two guys, they're grateful. They're grateful. Like they have that feeling of gratitude that I'm going to perform. Like I've never been anything like this. I'm ready to go. And I love it. I mean, but yeah, as you said, if you tell me all three of those guys, yeah, we got concerns, but it shows how talented this group really is.
That's what I'm saying. And Juan Manuel, yes, I always take questions. Now, some episodes more than others, but I will be focused on taking questions this time. So fire away. We'll try to answer as many of them as we can. But yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, if I had told fans, man, you're going to be missing those three guys, essentially. They're either going to not play or they're going to be in there as decoys, basically. And you would have told me, man, we'd be lucky to escape 3-1. Hopefully they get healthy as soon as possible. Yeah. Bro, we went through it 4-0, and really the two bigger games should have been more convincing wins on the scoreboard. I mean, because we dominated both games in the trenches.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and those are two of the three most talented teams on paper you're facing all season. The third being Saturday. Sure.
Yes.
So I think those reasons, and also I had a lot of obviously you do a lot of homework on the team, as do I. So I felt going into the season, I felt what you felt, honestly, is like I could see us winning both these games.
Yeah.
Notre Dame and Florida. I'm like, we got a better roster than Florida. Notre Dame, it's in our house. They got a freshman quarterback, Carson Beck, yada, yada, yada. I thought, man, we have a good shot at winning both. And we did. So like all the stuff of like, man, I think our trenches are going to be elite. We're the healthiest we've ever been. We're deep now. New defensive coordinator. Like I thought going into the year, man, a lot of these questions are going to be answered, and I was proven right. So I think that validation is why I'm so calm and so confident.
Yeah.
I don't know if you feel the same way.
Nah, you hit on the head. I mean, they didn't offensively. They did not play well versus Florida.
No,
they did not play well. We can all agree they did not play well against Florida on offense. And there was spots against Notre Dame where they weren't great offensively either. Both of those games should have been really could have turned into blowouts. And if they had done a couple things here and there, could have turned into blowouts. And Florida game should have been a blowout. I mean, Miami should have won the game by 35.
Yep.
So I don't think the Hurricanes have played a complete game yet. Even South Florida, they were bending on. There was bend don't break on defense. It wasn't dominant. It was bend don't break, but dominant offensively.
Yep.
We still haven't had a game where we've seen turnovers. Those pick six, big plays defensively. I mean, we had some sacks, but you haven't seen those 3-4 turnover performances by the defense.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen quarterbacks really challenge downfield. CJ Carr didn't throw the ball, but 3 yards to the left and 3 yards to the right in the opener. Byron Brown was running for his life. They contained him exceptionally. He really wasn't effective. And then against Florida, DJ Lagway threw everything sideways. So you're not going to have interceptions or create those defensive big plays, that can turn into points because you're not getting the real opportunity to do it. So I'm interested to see how Castellanos approaches Miami. I think he's going to be aggressive. I think it comes down to basically keeping that guy in the pocket. I think he's an absolutely mediocre quarterback as a passer, but he's an elite runner. And if you let him out of the pocket, he can hurt you. Keep him bottled in the pocket, and you hit him every single time. There was a video that came out that I saw today on Instagram with Corey Heatherman talking about being the most violent football team in America type shit. I was dying. Like that goes to everything they're doing. And, if you keep him bottled up in the pocket, to me, there's 3 keys. And I did a video on it. It was O-line dominance, D-line dominance, and spying Castellanos.
Mm-hmm.
You do those 3 things, you win the game. And you win it easily.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
We'll try to hit these questions quick because I know we only got you for a short time, like half an hour or so.
At some point, my son will end up on my lap for a few minutes, I'm sure.
All right. So Juan is asking, how is FSU going to play Miami there? Are they stacking the box and leaving themselves vulnerable to Beck, Elijah Lofton, and Maury Brown? Or their front seven is a liability, can't rush the passer, linebackers can't cover or strike? I definitely agree the linebacker play has been a liability for them. Offensive line, they can run block pretty well. They cannot pass block, in my opinion, especially on the edges. Not at any kind of like elite level. So like they're gonna have trouble with Reuben Bain and Mesidor. So Juan, how are they gonna play Miami? I mean, they're gonna try to hit big plays and hit big plays early. A lot of exotic formations, a lot of motions. Try to force turnovers. I don't know. Anything else you think they might try to do?
Watch out for the misdirection plays, the end around Mekhi Danzy. He's had 3 touchdowns on that same play the first 3 games. He did not do that against Virginia. I don't remember them even running it against Virginia, which was surprising because they ran that same end around with him 3 times and it went for a touchdown, I believe, each game in their first 3 games, including Alabama. He's a speed demon. So you have to be very careful about the gimmicks. They're gonna have gimmick plays. Prepare for a double pass, a QB throwback, possibly. FSU is gonna have to empty the playbook, and they're gonna try to, because if they go head to head, there's no shot. They're gonna be there's a lot of misdirection, and beyond the 3 things that I said, assignment football. Miami has to do what it did assignment wise. Do not over pursue. Do not leave your assignment, because when you leave your assignment, that is what will open up the big play. And they're certainly going to throw the ball down the field. I would expect Castellanos in the first possession to throw one deep. First possession, they're going to throw it deep, and they're going to test it. They have to.
Yeah. I can see that for sure. George is asking. Pringle's a freshman, right? Yes, he is. He's a true freshman, and I think he asked something earlier about Pringle hurt. I think in the last game he had like his arm in a sling or something.
He's not going to play.
Yeah. No, but even if he was healthy, I don't think this isn't a game. This isn't a game for the young guys outside of like Malachi Toney.
Joshua Moore, Malachi Toney, and Bryce Fitzgerald. The rest of those guys are not going to play.
No way. Fake punts.
You could see it.
You could see a fake punt, a fake. Yeah. I mean, I would if I was them. I'd try some trickery on special teams for sure. FSU gave everything they had against UVA on offense, and they out-bullied. So imagine Miami with a better D-line. That's what we're hoping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesdor have to meet in the quarterback. They got to meet at the quarterback. They got to put I keep it, you got to inflict pain on this guy in every play. You got to make, even when he dumps the ball, make him feel you every single time. You have to put hits on him and make him feel it every single time. Because he's only 5'10", only a 5'10" guy. I mean, he's 185, 190 pounds. They list him at 200. That guy doesn't weigh 200 pounds. Like, come on. He only 200 pounds. He's just 50, and he completes 55, 60% of his passes. He's very inaccurate. When you put pressure, he's going to overthrow or underthrow. He's going to make mistakes because he's that type of player who's going to try to make big plays. And you respect it, but you also know what's going to come. There's opportunities. So don't leave your assignments, and you're going to be in good shape. That's just my feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. And Miami has actually played the reverse well. Yeah, yes. They tried a couple against us in the Florida game, and it did not work. They couldn't turn the corner.
Because Miami never left their assignment.
Right.
The assignment football against Florida was exceptional. Exceptional assignment football. I was so impressed by how they were so disciplined. That discipline is huge. Yeah. They're disciplined. But of course, we all say it. It's easy to say it. You got to go do it.
Exactly. Jason's asking, what do you guys think of the culture at FSU? They're coming off a loss. Are they coming out of a loss resilient or tired and soft? Seems like the latter has been a Norvell trend. I'll let you take this one first. What do you think about that from what you've seen?
I mean, I think they're going to come out ready to play. I think they're going to come out with a ton of energy. And I think they're going to it's raining up here in Pompano.
I heard that.
You heard that explosion there? I hope my power doesn't go out. I think they're going to be mad aggressive. I think they're going to come out with a lot of fire. And depending on who gets the ball first, I'll tell you this. If Miami gets the ball first, Miami has to score. Miami cannot allow this team to get ahead. Because Florida State plays like a front runner. You see it, how they're playing. When they get the lead, they get a certain way. They had some adversity versus Virginia. It wasn't the same. And I think they'll be fine. I think they'll fight. I think they're going to be resilient. I think Mike Norvell's a good coach, man. I'll be real. I'm respectful of that guy. The man was 13-0 2 years ago. He's flipped a program pretty quickly. I mean, this is the day of NIL where you make 5 mistakes, your team is 2-10. When you signed DJ Uiagalelei, who I knew was horrendous, I couldn't believe when they signed him. I was like, that is the worst decision ever. That guy's been trash. since Clemson. He was trash at Oregon State. He was the worst version of himself in Florida State. But they got a few guys. That kid Deuce Robinson on the edge, a wide receiver. He's 6'6". That's a tough cover. You're gonna have to double team that dude. You're gonna have to double team that dude because he's gonna throw to him a lot. If you shut him down, he doesn't have very many other options. So, but I think they're gonna fight. But it all comes down to, I think Miami's offensive line has to impose its will. Miami offensive line does its job. They dictate the game. They dictate the game more than anything.
Yeah. I almost wouldn't be upset if we lost the coin toss and had to take the ball first.
Oh, I want the ball first. I want the ball first. I know people like to set the tone defensively. I want the ball. I want to get the ball. I want to march that shit 75 yards down the field and punch it in their throat and set the tone right there. That's what I want to see. That would be the perfect start to me. More than 3 and out. That
would take the crowd out of the game immediately.
Absolutely.
If we're just getting 7 yards, 8 yards, 6 yards like every carry and just getting small chunks and it's like a 14-play drive and we score, that would take them out of the game, the crowd out of the game completely, especially if you follow that up with a stop on defense. Oh,
quiet. You called it death by 1,000 cuts the other day. Death by 1,000 cuts. Yeah, I agree. I think that's huge. And I want the ball. I really want the ball. I usually I would say I want defense. No, if I was at home, I'll play defense. On the road, I want the ball.
Yeah. I mean, 99% of the time I want defense first, just because you can win that middle 8. You can get the back-to-back possessions and you play the clock right, which actually Cristobal's done a good job of this year with the clock management and just I forgot which game. I want to say it was the South Florida game or maybe even the Notre Dame game. I think we scored end of the half and beginning of the half. It was the Notre Dame game.
Well, Florida game, we scored a 3 and then we should have had a 7 and they took it from us. I mean.
Right. It was the Notre Dame game that I'm thinking of that we
we scored on both sides. Yeah.
Yep. That was huge. That was the game right there.
That was the game. Huge.
Huge. Justin Scott, is he going to be available? I mean, as far as I know, I haven't heard anything.
I don't know. I would presume.
Some fans were asking about him last game that he didn't play a ton of snaps. It's like, well, he played, but remember, UF had 51 snaps total. So your starters were fresh.
I just realized I had the wrong mic on. Now it's just sound more clear now. Does it sound more clear?
Yeah. I mean, you sounded pretty good before.
Oh, okay. I realized my mic was off.
I could hear you fine. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I tell you the one I lost my train of thought for a second. There's so many stories within a story for this game. Will FSU respond to losing? You hear Castellanos say, "Oh, we needed a loss." How do you need a loss 4 games in? That's insane. Like your ego's that big that you needed a loss. So that tells me that if Miami punches you in the mouth early, you're going to fold.
Yeah.
They're going to fold. Miami punches them fast, quick. By halftime, I want them to know that I want them to quit. I want them to quit. And I want and Miami has to do that with the offensive line.
Yep.
More than anything. Those offensive linemen, by the way, the defensive line from Florida State, their front 4 in 4 games has 2 sacks. They don't get pressure. They're getting blown off the ball. They like when Mario Cristobal earlier this week talked about FSU's explosive offense, like they had 700 plus yards against Kent State and East Texas A&M. They had 380 against Alabama. Decent game. They had 514 versus Virginia. Okay, good game. But let's not act like they're busting 700-yard games against Division I level opponents. This isn't Kent State. This isn't this isn't Trash Can U. This is real football, and this is the best defense they're going to see all season. I think they'll score. I'm not going to sit here and say Miami's going to beat them 34-0. I think they'll score, but this thought process that they have some explosive offense, against bums. They give them 46 points to Virginia. They give them 46 points. I mean, Miami's offensive line, I expect to absolutely annihilate these dudes. And if they run a 3-3-5 and don't leave it, Miami's going to average 8 yards a carry.
Yeah.
because he mentioned their DBs are top tacklers. If your 3 DBs have over 30 combined tackles as they did last week versus Virginia, that's bad.
Yeah.
Because that means you're tackling guys 7 yards down the field every time. Unless you bring him into the box. But once you bring him into the box, now I need Carson Beck to pick him apart down the field.
Yeah. Honestly, I could see them blitzing the linebackers a lot. I could see them bringing pressure early and forcing it to be more of a Carson Beck game. They know we're going to be run heavy. I think they're going to send – there's going to be some heavy boxes, 8, 9 guys in the box, some blitzes. I see that happening. I also see them playing 2 high safeties to take the big play away. So the middle of the field will be there. If the ball's a little slick, hopefully it's not. Hopefully, the weather's looking good right now. That could change. But if the weather's dry, I mean, you could have Carson Beck picking them apart. But to be fair, that's where he ran. I think it was more his decision making than anything. But middle of the field is where he ran into a little bit of trouble last year. But again, I feel like that's where he was that was a part of the season he was just trying to force stuff. He's not going to have to force anything. He could just take, if he's patient and just takes the checkdowns when they're there, and we just run the ball 4 or 5 yards of carry, because I think that's all they're going to give us. Take the 15-play drive. Fine. We can do 15-play drives. I'm not scared we're going to fumble it at any given moment. I'm not scared we're going to shoot ourselves in the foot, somehow. I'm confident that we could take it the distance to those long, slow, methodical drives.
I thought my biggest concern will always be pre-snap penalties. That's always gonna be my biggest concern. Pre-snap penalties, that kills drives before they start. Yeah. You can't have pre-snap penalties. You have to avoid that stuff. You avoid that stuff. You play clean football. I mean, I referred to this. I put a post where I said this is the biggest game Carson Beck will ever play in Miami. And someone said, "Oh, so you're saying they're not gonna make the playoffs?" No, you didn't. You obviously didn't hear what I had to say. You're not listening. People like to do that thing. You know what I mean? Like this is the biggest game he's ever gonna play at Miami, because this is the only road game of substance that he's gonna play at Miami. Because if Miami wins this game, Miami's gonna be a big favorite in every game the rest of the season. Should win them all. And should go into the playoffs as a number 1 or number 2 seed. As a number 1 or number 2 seed, they're never going to play a road game. They're going to play a neutral field game. So this is going to be the most difficult environment that he's going to see all year. This is the test for him to pass. And he's been through all this stuff in the SEC, so I don't have concerns. Like, if I had a young quarterback, I'd be more concerned. But we got a grown man. He's 23, 24 years old, whatever he is. He's a grown man. He's played in the big stadiums. He's played in the big lights. He's gone through all of it. So I have no concerns for him whatsoever. I think he's in complete control. And I do think this is the biggest game he's going to play in Miami. And this is the game that's going to really cement him in his 1 year, cement that. I mean, if you want to say legacy, but cement him as a great quarterback in Miami. I mean, it's because he's going to throw for probably 3,500 yards this year. I mean, when it's all said and done, or more. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing how this guy plays this week, because I think he's going to play a great game personally.
I think so too. I think he's kind of due for one. And I think this is one of those, famous college atmospheres that he probably thought he was never going to get to play in, because he's in the SEC, but now he'll get to play in a Miami, Florida State game in Tallahassee where both teams are good. So I'm sure he's looking forward to the challenge. I'm looking forward to the challenge, honestly.
I'm excited.
I am too. I'm excited for it. And I understand what you're saying. Like, I think this is the most important game he will play.
Absolutely.
For sure. Because this is this can be a fork in the road for the season, where you win, we're really off to the races. You lose, you could make the playoffs 11-1, but now it's now you have zero margin for error. You cannot take a second loss, because you're probably out.
Mm-hmm.
11-1, you're in. Worst case, as an at-large, you're in at 11-1. But 10-2, I don't think so.
Did you see? I did a video on this, but Reese Davis, the guy, the host of Game Day, ESPN, he actually ranked Miami number 1. He's an AP voter. He's one of 4 people who rank Miami number 1. And those polls bother me. Like they shouldn't, but they do. Because they dictate the committee's a bunch of morons, and it dictates a lot of what they do. Their decisions are largely predicated, whether they admit it or not, on the polls. And that's why I hate polls early on, because how the hell is Alabama ranked in the top 11 now, and Florida State's ranked 18th? I don't care that they lost at Virginia. They beat Alabama, and they beat the brakes off of them. But yet you have these voters, like there's a voter, I don't know if you hear background noise, that's a baby. There's a voter who voted FSU as not even a top 25 team. Like, you can't even take this is an AP voter who doesn't have FSU in the top 25. There's an AP voter that has Miami ranked 5th. There's an AP voter that ranked USC 25th after they lost when they were already ranked 25th. Like, this is the woman that raised Florida up in the rankings after they lost, has Penn State ranked 3rd after losing. Give it to me. After losing to Oregon. Like, tell me exactly how in the world Penn State's ranked 3rd after losing to Oregon. This is RJ.
What's up, RJ?
But like, how do you rank Penn State 3rd? They just lost to Oregon. It's like, so when he did that, I respect him because he watches football constantly. I'm gonna put it real. I'm gonna put it out here. The rankings now, I don't know if you know, they're public. We know everyone who votes and where they vote. Did you know that?
Yeah, I didn't know that now.
Tell me exactly why Miami gets no home love.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Everybody else, any other team, they get mad home love. Miami doesn't get home love from their hometown reporter. AP voter.
That is weird.
If you're watching this team, like, what are you watching? What are you not seeing that national football people are seeing? By the way, I don't have to name his name. It's not even important. He's not a Miami grad. He's a Florida grad. So that should probably tell you something right there. But, like, these other schools, or Oregon, the Portland reporter, Oregon's number 1.
Yeah.
How did Oregon get 3 more first place votes and get 15 more first place votes? Miami lose 3 first place votes by not playing. What did Miami do wrong last weekend? Please explain it to me. What did they do wrong? Their resume didn't change. It's ridiculous. So this game for me, emotionally, I wanted to kick the shit out of Florida State so they can shove it up everyone's back. Because it's crazy, bro. When your local reporter who has an AP vote ranks you 3rd.
Yeah.
He ranked them 3rd. And I'll tell you offline who it was. It's not that hard to figure out for people if they're interested in knowing.
Yeah.
But it's irritating because you think the freaking the Ohio reporters are voting Ohio State 3rd? No. Alabama gets love. Like, there was one ranking that had Alabama 5th with a loss. Penn State 3rd with a loss. I mean, it's crazy, bro. Yeah, I get irritated. So.
Yeah. I don't let it irritate me just because, especially nowadays, like in the BCS days, yes, it mattered. You had to finish in the top 2 in the regular season to get to the championship. That was the only way you got in. So all this splitting hairs and nitpicking, it was like everyone was at each other's throats as to why they should be number 2 and not 3. Now it's like, just win. It'll take care of itself. So,
well, yeah, but last year, for example, we got hosed. Like, if SMU wins, like they should have beaten Clemson, Miami was hosed by this committee who jerks off to the SEC, who put the 3-loss Alabama team. Yeah, we are responsible for our fate. Sorry, you don't get to lose 3 times and lose against Vanderbilt and sit here and tell me that that's a good loss and act like that's okay. And they do that. Like Georgia last year. Georgia was, they got in because they beat Texas in the SEC championship. Texas really, if you look at their resume last year, was trash. It was trash. Their 2 toughest games, Georgia and Georgia, lost both times. They get no, like.
They got spanked in one of them.
Yes. And then they lost the second one with a backup quarterback.
Yep.
When Carson Beck got hurt.
Yep.
So like, that's why those rankings bother me, because I think they do shape the opinions of the idiots in those committees. I think they do.
Mm-hmm.
They allow that shit stuff to seep in, and if you are on the edge, they somehow edge the Big Ten or the SEC up. Like, should we now use the math of Virginia beat FSU, so Virginia would beat Alabama? We shouldn't, but that's what they do.
Yeah, which doesn't work. It's
exactly.
you should look at it more. Okay, what is your record? Are you in a Power 4 conference? What's your record? Okay, and then from there, how many losses do you have? And then from there, like, okay, of your losses, did you lose to a team that had no business being on the field with you, or did you lose to like a fellow P4 team? Okay. Yeah. And then look at head to head, obviously, because that should matter in a big way. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. It feels like there's always going to be arguments. It's impossible to get it perfect, but whatever.
Yeah.
Couple questions, because I don't want to have you or hold you on too long.
I'm good. He's quiet. I'm shocked at how quiet he is.
All right.
I thought he would be losing his mind.
Yeah. So, what is, I guess, your fondest Florida State memory, like as far as like your favorite game that you ever watched with Miami and Florida State? Like, which either fondest memory or your favorite game that you ever watched?
My favorite game that I watched was, I was a kid. It was 1988 or 89. Mm-hmm. Whatever year it was in 88 or 89, where FSU comes in ranked number 1. And they're making a rap song about 88. In 88. Mm-hmm. And Miami beats them 31-0 on opening night and beats the doors off them.
Yep.
Like that was the fondest memory as a kid, because that's when I was growing up. Like, that's when it was like, everything is, my life is Miami Hurricanes football. Like, I will die if they lose type shit. Mm-hmm. And so that was certainly the greatest memories ever. But I mean, God, man, those wide rights, those wide right, wide left games. I will say the 27-24 win, when we finally broke that 6 or 7 game losing streak we had to them in the Orange Bowl, and Jeremy Shockey hits that touchdown at the end, and they go wide right wide right at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, now they shouldn't have, that one team manager shouldn't have double middle fingered the kicker. That wasn't very nice. I mean, although funny, but it wasn't very nice. But that one, it was like, it was, because we were dominating that game early. It came back, and it was like, oh God, this can't happen. And we win the game. And I mean, the emotional roller coaster, that was special. That was a special one, I gotta say. What about you?
Yeah, that 2000 game you're talking about was my first game that I attended. So ever.
Wow.
So I was introduced to Hurricanes football like when it was about to peak again, like in the Butch Davis rebuild. So yeah, I was introduced there. It wasn't the loudest I ever heard the Orange Bowl. The loudest I ever heard the Orange Bowl was Devin Hester's opening kickoff against the Gators in 2003. That was the loudest moment in the Orange Bowl I ever heard.
That was a hell of that night was amazing. We were down 33-10.
Yep. 33-10. And my butt was about to get up off the seat to
leave.
Head out. Yeah. My butt was in, but my sister-in-law and brother, who you met actually.
Can't leave, man.
They convinced me to stay.
Can't leave.
Like it was funny. You want to know a funny story about that?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've told anybody this, but the reason I wanted to leave, I'm a big gamer, right? NFL 2K4 or 2K3 had just come out. And earlier that day after school, because no, this game was on Saturday. Okay, so the day before on Friday, I went to GameStop to get it for the Xbox. It was still in the wrapping and sitting on my bed. And I was thinking, damn, we're getting blown out right now. If I get home early enough, I could still play the game.
What were you, 13 or so?
I was 15, 16.
15.
I was in high school. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I was like, damn, we're getting blown out. You know, if I get home early enough, I can go home and play. I can
That's
play NFL.
hilarious. I'm glad you didn't leave because that game ended amazing. I mean,
No. They convinced. They were like, hey, it's not over. I was like, all right, fine. Let's. If they score here, they're still in it. And sure enough, bang, 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 bang. At that moment, that's what they couldn't stop scoring after that.
And you knew that they had. I mean, look, Brock Berlin could not lose that game.
Yeah.
Brock Berlin could not lose that game.
They just had to. All they had to do was switch to more of a spread, you know, like no huddle tempo offense, and we boat raced them after that.
Yeah. No, I was. I remember that game.
I
remember that game very well.
Yeah. No, that's all. The only adjustment we had to do because under center he couldn't handle it. But
what do you think of not? What do you think of never snapping the ball under center?
I don't like that the game has gone to that to the point that even on QB sneaks, guys can't go under center. I don't know. They should learn both for sure. Like in case you're in that scenario, like tush push or on the goal line, power eye formation. It's like a boxer learning a jab. You should be able to go under center if you need to, but I don't want to get too off track.
Deontay Wilder needs to go to school, right?
Yeah, exactly.
For a jab.
Yeah.
No, I asked that question because the way Miami runs the ball, like play action pass would be wide open constantly if they just lined up under center a little bit, like mixed it up. You can't do it every play, but mix it up because if you don't ever line up under center, you really don't have real play action. That RPO is not play action. That's not a play action play. Like you can't have your running back, your quarterback 7 yards off the ball, your running back's 5 yards behind him. Like that's not play action. You need to get under center for that. It drives me crazy. I don't know. I've never. Yeah. It blows me away that they don't do that. Because like when you run the ball like this, because Miami is a running team. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying that. We're a running team. We want to pound that ball, and play action's there. So I want. What do you think of the three? What is your biggest key to this game?
Biggest key is just not allowing the explosives. And and it sounds like a small thing, but another thing, and this might be key number one, most important. Yeah. If you clean up the false starts and the what do you call it? The illegal snaps, whatever Brockermeyer's doing. It has a name. I'm blanking on it right now.
Yeah, he had it's a false start on the snap. Like he's like,
He fakes the snap. Yeah, whatever. If you completely eliminate that, I think our chances of winning jump 20%. You know what I'm saying? Like if Absolutely. I know that's cleaned up, then we're gonna start. Every second down is gonna be 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't take negative plays running the ball.
Yeah.
So those procedural penalties, take them out, bro. Like I'm feeling way better now. If you could take those out. Plus, you can tell me, hey, we're also not going to turn the ball over. I'm like, bro, how do we lose this game?
Yeah, if you don't commit penalties and you don't turn the ball over, it's very hard to lose. It'd be very hard to lose. I couldn't see
Still don't understand how you don't blow out the Gator after Devin Hester spots you 7-8 seconds in. Damn it, Coker. It wasn't on Coker. Brock just he was thrown to the other team for 2.5 quarters. No, but I never. So the 2000 game, my fondest memory. So that was like I said, that was my first game. I don't know if you remember. They ran out of water. They ran out of beer. They ran out of everything before the game
started. People were passing out all over the building.
Bro, it was 10. That game. I was young. I was 13, and it was 10,000 degrees.
Yeah.
It was one of the hottest days of my life. And I've born and raised here in Miami. I've lived here my whole life. But yeah, man, I remember that we jumped out to a huge lead. And even though I didn't really know football yet, I realized I was watching something special because I knew how FSU at the time was the boogeyman. Nobody beat them.
They beaten them in 6 years.
We hadn't beaten them, and also they ran the table the year before. They were undefeated to that point. It's they were unstoppable at that time.
Yeah. And they had a grown man playing quarterback. People forget Chris Swanky was 26 years old. He wasn't a college kid. He was a grown ass former professional baseball player who came in and used his eligibility after he finished playing baseball. Dude was a grown man. Like
Bro,
that mattered. That maturity mattered.
Yeah, that mattered. There's got to be like an 8 because I think he was like 27, 28. I think he was even older
He was
than
over
that.
26. I know that he was up there. Like,
Yeah, I think they should put a hard cap at like 25, maybe. I don't know. I think
we wouldn't have had our 9th year senior last year.
yeah.
There's an 8th year senior at Syracuse this year.
Yeah, I know.
He's an 8th year guy. I mean, these guys are going to graduate as doctors.
I know.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Not to put a damper on it, but what was your what do you think it was your worst moment as like in the Miami FSU rivalry? Was it the 47-0 game, I'm guessing?
Yeah, that was probably the worst one because I was actually a student at Florida State, and I went to school there. My neighbor was a football player, and I wore Canes gear all the time. We were really bad at the time. That was '97, where we had Edger and James here, and I think we were 5-6 that year. It was a rough season, and we're down 30-0 at the end of the third quarter. And I got up and I went back to my apartment because I never left the game early. I left the game early that day because there was no hope. There was no hope. It was misery. Now, I knew we were gonna lose. It's like that's the thing. I think I take more pain though. Like that was misery. I think the one that really killed me, hurt a lot, the emotional one, was the game that we lost. I think it was 30-26 to Jameis Winston and Dalvin Cook. We were winning 23-10 at halftime. We were in control, and we gave that game away. That was down here. I remember because it was my stepdaughter's sweet 16 birthday, so I wasn't even at the game. I was at her birthday party watching this at a bar while they're having a birthday party next door, and I'm losing my mind. Like we're dominating this game, and then all of a sudden we got Dalvin cooked. I mean, Dalvin Cook is the one recruit that failure cost us for years.
Yes,
because that guy kicked our ass every single time he played us. The kid from Miami Central. We got Joe Yearby. They got Dalvin Cook, and we all know the rest because he kicked our ass. And that one hurt a lot because we were the underdog. We were dominating the game, and FSU was undefeated until they got blown out of the building by Oregon in the playoffs. But I think that was the year, right? That was the year after they won the national championship, if I'm not mistaken.
They were defending national champs in that game. Yes.
They were losing to Oregon in the semifinals or whatever, but they were undefeated. They won like 25 games straight by that at a certain point. Like that was an incredible team, and we were right there. And it's like it eats your soul because you're like, oh my. And that's when you do that thing where you look back and like, oh my God, that play right there or that play right there. It's like we were one play away,
and there were like 5 or 6 of those plays that like there was one play in that game you may remember I think it was an extra point. It wasn't a field goal. I think Jalen Ramsey jumped the line and blocked the extra point. The guys on that side blocking just blocked air. Like I think they're taught to, if no one's standing there, just stand up and do this to the air. Like they did that. Like go back and watch the replay, guys, in the chat if you don't believe me. When he blocked the field goal or the extra point, whatever it was, they literally just stood up and went like this, and he jumped between the blockers and blocked it.
Yeah. There was also the game that Miami lost 20-19 where they got an extra point blocked.
Yep.
I mean, in the final minute or whatever it was, you're like, how do you get an extra point blocked? It's a 20-yard kick. Just pop the ball in the air, you bum. Like, what the hell's going on? You can't make an extra point?
Because freaking Michael Badgley, who I love.
Yeah, but it's unacceptable. It's like, lose a game like that.
I love Michael Badgley now. I think he's still in the NFL, actually. Yeah. But I remember early in his career, that was 2016. That was Mark Richt's first year.
He made kicks.
Yeah, he would make kicks, but like I remember early in his career, he would kick the ball really low. And I remember watching, I think it was the Appalachian State game a couple weeks before with a buddy of mine. And he was like, man, he's like barely making over their helmets. He's kicking line drives. Yeah. Of course, it cost us that game. But yeah, I was going to say the most painful one for me, it's a tie between that one because I thought we had just tied the game. The stadium's going crazy.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm high-fiving people. I'm like, all right. So I'm getting ready to watch the extra point thinking, okay, it's automatic pretty much. The ball does not make it to the uprights. And then the second one is 2005 when we had our 6-game winning streak against them. When, again, a special teams play, we're going to tie the field goal. We're going to go to the field goal to tie it. And I think Brian Monroe, it was a bad snap and he bobbled the snap.
Mm-hmm.
And man, we end up losing 10-7. In a game where we had like twice as many yards as they did, we just could not punch it in for whatever reason. On that series, we got to first and goal on the 1-yard line, and we couldn't score. Because Coker was trying these bootlegs and all this crap and having, I think 2 different times he had Kyle Wright roll out to the flat, who was a freaking statue, and he got sacked. It's like
the abuse that Kyle Wright took, bro. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Mm-hmm.
I was covering the team at the time.
Yeah.
Stuff people would yell at him from the stands.
I heard some of it.
I'm telling you right now. I don't know if you watch any WNBA basketball, how these women complain about everything. If they complain about everything, but if they had the stuff yelled at them, what Kyle Wright had yelled at him on a week-to-week basis, after pretty much every game,
mm-hmm.
they would have probably all jumped off of a building because he had the most vile shit said to him. And you're walking as media and you're hearing it like, look, I can't say I disagree with what their premise is because I'm watching this trash and I'm watching us lose 47-0 to Virginia to close the Orange Bowl.
I was there.
And then they did a laser light show after the game, was it? Or was it halftime or after the game? I don't remember which one.
It was after the game, and the same
47-0.
My siblings who made me stay for the Florida game, which I'm appreciative of, they made me stay for that shit too.
Oh God, that I would have gone home.
Yeah, I was this close to walking home.
Yeah, I would have.
Uber didn't exist yet, so unfortunately, I was screwed.
Like to have to go in that press conference, but the stuff that you would hear these fans yell at Kyle Wright.
Yeah,
I mean, you're talking about go kill yourself. Your mama this. I mean, it was think of the nastiest shit a Miami guy could say to somebody, and probably in Spanish and English, and you got all of it. And he was crucified by the fans.
I mean, he had the unfortunate position of having to follow
five coordinators.
Yeah, no, he had 3 different offensive coordinators, I think. So one for every year he was a starter, and he had to follow. I mean, he was right after Brock Berlin, but still, Ken Dorsey was right, like in our immediate memory. He was just there a couple of years before that. So,
but he was supposed to be the guy. He was number 1 recruit in the country.
Right. He had the highest expectations.
Yeah.
So
he had a cannon. He had all the measurables, all the tools, but here it didn't work.
I don't
handle it.
I know it, and some guys that happens sometimes. Some guys can't, and I feel bad for the dude. Honestly, I wonder what he's even up to now. I think somebody pulled up like his LinkedIn or something, and he works like in insurance or real estate or something.
I'm sure he's like an investment banker or something.
Something like finance related. I could be wrong. I don't know. Somebody's probably going to Google it now. It seems like he's doing well professionally, which is good. I'm happy for him in that regard because like it coincided with the culture going down the toilet, which is not his fault. Yeah. It's but anyway, let's wipe that away. That's in the past. That's made us stronger as fans.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's 2025. And hey, John and Rudy, both of you can suit up as a 58-year-old freshman football player. Is that true?
Bro, I don't know. It wouldn't shock me.
It wouldn't shock me if there is somewhere.
Nobody talks me anymore. I mean, I wouldn't last 1 10-yard sprint. Like I know my limitations. I am not in any kind of physical conditioning and shape. I mean, what I can guarantee you is this. If I was out there for like 10 minutes, you would have an ambulance, a stretcher, because I'm going to pop both of my Achilles, and I'm going to get the surgeries that I need on both of them right now. Because I have massive Achilles tendonitis, and they would both pop. They would explode. They would both explode. My son just kicked the camera. Yeah, they would both explode. They would explode on contact because no. I'll carry the water. Carry the water. Yeah, there is a 58-year-old. Look at this, 58-year-old. My son just pulls it up.
Oh my God! On what team?
Lycoming College. Tackle. Tom Silo, Division III. He's on the junior varsity college football team against King's College in Williamsport, PA. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
He's 6 foot 227. He's has a record in the deadlift at the 55 to 59 age group of 580 pounds. This guy's a bodybuilder. He's juiced to the gills, probably.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a lot of
RT, bro.
I don't think there's a lot of testing going on that level of college football. So
that's hilarious.
God, that's funny.
That's hilarious. Oh, that's crazy.
All right. Well, Rudy, before I get you out of here, I'm gonna ask you for your prediction. What is your score prediction for Saturday?
Miami 34-17.
All right, I like that. I'm gonna go. Gonna be kind of a weird score. I'm gonna go 31-22, Miami.
There has been a 31-22 game, if I recall correctly.
You're probably right.
I think they've had a 31-22 game with Florida State. Am I crazy? I think they have had one like that.
Maybe. But yeah, I feel like it'll be a weird game like that. Vegas Kane says 41-17. James Kane says 38-24. I think it'll be closer to that. Yeah, I see us winning by at least by like that 10 to 13 point range.
FSU's going to score. Like people have to FSU's going to score. They got some weapons. Like it's not going to be that Florida game. They got weapons, but again, I think the offensive line dictates everything. If the offensive line does their job, I dare you to play 3-3-5 for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
I dare you to not blitz.
Yeah.
Because if you do that, we're going to look like Nebraska with Tommy Frazier and Lawrence Phillips.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just run them dudes over. Like that. That's what it looked like. So I expect them to bring guys up in the box, and I expect Carson Beck to have to, chuck it down the field some. You gotta stretch the field at some point. It cannot be underneath all game.
Yeah. Unless that's all they give us. If that's all they give us, hey, we'll do it all day.
No, then you're gonna pick. Then it's death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah. All right, Rudy. So
say goodbye, RJ.
See RJ.
He lasted 30 minutes, man. I'm surprised.
Yeah, he went past 30 minutes. Yeah. So let the people know, for those of you in the chat who maybe are seeing Rudy for the first time, or maybe you've seen his stuff on your feed lately, let the people know where they can find your stuff. Yeah,
folks, I appreciate y'all coming on board and checking this out tonight. And I am on Instagram at Hurricanes Unfiltered. My podcast is called Come On Now, the podcast, and I have a section called Hurricanes Unfiltered. So on YouTube, it's Come On Now, the podcast. On Instagram, it's Hurricanes Unfiltered, and then also Come On Now podcast. But the YouTube channel, if you Google Hurricanes Unfiltered, you'll find it. It's the first link. I picked the right name because it's the first damn link that pops up. I'm going to trademark that thing because it worked. I mean, it skipped all I was shocked. I was like, no one has this name yet? Oh, this worked. And if you can see, I got Portis, Ray Lewis, Sapp, Gore. Got all my helmets. I'm growing my collection of stuff in here. This is my sports room. I use it the other day. I was the other way around. This time I'm watching the baseball game. So, but yeah, Come On Now, the podcast, Hurricanes Unfiltered, man. Check it out. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you. Thank you for having me on again. And let's chop this thing up on Monday night, man. If you're interested, I do my live for Hurricanes. I do recordings throughout the week, but I do my live on Monday night at 9 o'clock. So if people want to check it out, I will be live 9 p.m. and I'll be talking Miami kicking Florida State's ass. Yeah. If I have a few minutes, I might pop in. Hopefully it'll be a celebratory pop in. Please God. Yes, please. My wife is a Florida State graduate. I cannot live with that shit. You're a saint for doing that. I don't know. I could not have done that. I'd rather live by myself, honestly. Oh my goodness. Anyways, thank you, bro, for coming on. Really appreciate it. Appreciate you, man. Go Canes. Let's go. Beat
beat FSU Saturday, and we'll talk to you guys next time I'm on Tuesday. Go Canes.
Let's go.